Hello again, world. It's Taylor here. It's the 28th of December 2014, and I've been on testosterone for 2 months. So I'm still noticing some changes in my body, the most obvious one being my voice. It's gotten noticeably deeper. One thing I'm having a hard time with is my singing has just gone to hell. I can't sing the songs I used to be able to, because a lot of them have high notes, and I have to really strain to reach those without my voice breaking in half. But on the flip side, I've been able to sing other songs that I couldn't before in a lower register, so that's been pretty cool. I did notice I was getting some fuzz, which was pretty exciting. I shaved it off right before Christmas though, because I was seeing my extended family and I really didn't want to give my paternal grandparents a heart attack. So I don't have my fuzz anymore. It's starting to grow back though. I've gotten a little acne. I haven't really gotten acne since I was a teenager. Even when I was a teenager I didn't get very much of it, so it's not really bad. My muscles have gotten a bit more defined, and a lot of that is because of my job, because it's a labor job, so obviously you're gonna build muscle doing that. I think the testosterone has helped, just give them more definition, so it's become really noticeable. I used to be able to fit this around my upper arm. That's how skinny I've been. It's like this now. So that's good. I'm pleased about that. One interesting thing about this month is that I didn't have a period. I got, cramps, like you'd normally get, but I didn't bleed, which was really strange. I felt like my body was confused. But I'm glad I don't want to bleed everywhere. One of the things that happens when you're on testosterone is there can be clitoral enlargement. And I don't really like talking about my private parts, but that has happened. And I don't know how much more it's going to happen, but it's a strange thing to get used to. This month I thought I'd talk about what it was like being a girl growing up. So, when I was a kid, I was very much a tomboy. My parents just kind of, for the most part, let me do my own thing. They didn't, pressure me to wear pink or play with Barbies or anything. I had Barbies, but I also had Hot Wheels and dinosaurs. I did have Polly Pockets, but I also played Pokemon. I was into all kinds of things, and I played soccer from, age 5 to 18. Everyone was okay with my being a tomboy. No one made a big issue out of it. They were just like, oh, that's Taylor, that's fine. And it wasn't really an issue until later, because as I got older, I felt that there was more and more pressure to conform to gender norms. Now there are some exceptions to this. My family, we used to go to church every Sunday, and it was always a battle to get me into a dress. I just never wanted to. When I was 9, my great-grandmother died, and we were having the funeral. I wanted to go, I knew I was going to be bored being a 9-year-old, but I felt like I wanted to go. But my mother wouldn't let me go because I wouldn't wear a dress. And I don't really understand why my appearing like a girl was more important than allowing her child to see their great-grandmother for the last time before she was interred. But that's a whole nother issue. I don't really want to stand here and rant about my mother, so I won't. I was in Girl Guides, Sparks, Brownies, Guides, and Pathfinders, and for a long time that was awesome. Like, it was so much fun. Like, we played games, and we did, like, team building activities, and we went camping. That was great. But it stopped being great when I got to Pathfinders. I forget exactly what age group Pathfinders was, but it was like young teenagers. And I didn't like Pathfinders because suddenly all the girls were like girls. And not just like kids having fun. It was like girls. The activities we did were more low-key. I mean, we still did some of the stuff we used to, but I felt it was more girly, and I just felt like I couldn't relate to anybody there. I really felt like I wasn't one of them. And like I didn't want to be one of them because I was bored, and I didn't want to do the things they were doing. I didn't want to talk about the things they were talking about. I really felt like I couldn't relate to them at all. And that was an issue when I played soccer too. Like, I was on all girls teams. As a kid, that was fine because everyone was a kid and was just there having fun. But as I got older and played on all girls teams as a teenager, I liked it less and less because everybody was suddenly a girl. The way they were acting was weird to me, and I didn't want to act like that. I felt really alienated and like I wasn't part of that group. And again, I didn't want to be. So it's not like I was trying to be part of the group. But the best thing, though, was for 4 years, the local youth soccer league was co-ed. So when I was 15, I played on a co-ed team. That was so much fun. I enjoyed that. I loved playing with the guys, and I loved that we all could just have fun together, and I felt like I could be more myself in that setting. They went back to gender-segregated teams because I think the girls were complaining that the guys wouldn't, like, play with them as much, or they wouldn't pass the ball to them, or something. I get that, and that's unfortunate. And that has to do with, like, our societal sexism about girls in sports, which is sad, and it shouldn't be the case, but because you don't bridge the gap of mutual understanding by separating people. You're not gonna have girls and guys get along and understand each other better, and you're not gonna eliminate or at least minimize sexism or sexist acts by keeping people apart from each other. That's just not. So I was sad when they went back to having separate girls and guys teams, but I do understand why they did that. I was picked on a bit, a few times. I don't think they ever explicitly said it was because I wasn't girly or a girl. But I feel like that was a contributing factor, because all around me were my friends who were girls, and they were girly, and I was the odd one out. And so my bullies were always guys. I mean, I have a personality that's like really straightforward and honest, and so, I mean, that's a target for bullying anyways. But I think mostly, though, I think people were okay with my being myself, because I never really fit into any girly gender category, but like I feel like people were just like, oh, that's just Taylor, that's who Taylor is, that's fine, Taylor's cool, you know. For the most part, I've always just been authentically myself and just dealt with the BS as it came. Like, when I was bullied or pressured into being girlier, I didn't really feel the pressure. I didn't really think, oh man, I really should be girlier. I just felt like, man, those people who are bullying me, they suck. I don't like them. Why are they being mean? Like, that was the reaction, other than, oh, I should change so I don't get bullied. Like, no. The only time that I actually tried to be girly and, like, actually live as a woman was when I was an adult and dating a guy who turned out to be an abusive piece of crap. There's a whole lot of complicated psychological manipulation that goes into abuse. So I don't want to stand here and go on forever about it, but basically I was trying to be someone that that guy could be happy with, even though in hindsight that was impossible, because nothing would have made him happy, and he would have abused me until he killed me if I had stayed. So that was the only time. I'm never doing that again. Like, I just need to do what's right for me and not friggin' worry about other people, because I'm not responsible for their happiness. And frankly, if people aren't okay with me as I am, they can just go away. They don't have to interact with me if they don't want to. So I'm really glad I realized that, because I'm a lot happier than I was, a lot calmer. Another thing that bugged me about trying really hard to be a girl during that time was that I slowly came to realize that I was acting and being a lot like my mother, and that was really bothering me. Like, I don't want to be that cold and that concerned with appearances, so concerned with appearances that I place that above the well-being of the ones around me and the people I'm supposed to love, care about, and care for. So, thank God that I realized that, because I don't know where I'd be otherwise. I wouldn't be a good person, I don't think. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.